you. So hi everybody, I appreciate this opportunity to speak. I'm a PhD student at Concordia's Indie program and a member of Le Parc. And an aspect of my art practice is making supra-realities in virtual space. This talk is called Irascible, a supra-reality in 5 movements. And supra-reality is my thing. Irascible is the title of a play I wrote that hasn't been produced. I'm going to talk about how this is a cross-platform idea and how what I'm reading for my comprehensives is complicit in all these ideas. So this particular one is called Constellation Tussle. And I'll just play a little bit of it to give you an idea what's going So this is a work that's produced in VR at the Visualization Studio on the 3rd floor of the library. It is a psychogeography. It's also VR abstraction, and it's visual poetics all at the same time. The reason I chose this because it is very indicative of the space that does not exist in any register as in real life, where we're trained to trust what is real. This is a moving image, also created in virtual reality. I created this work within my collective, Aura for Art. My role in that collective is as visual director. I'm the main liaison. I do scanning, the sound, choosing the artists that contribute. This particular soundtrack is by Roy Green from Victoria, British Columbia. Artists give me snippets of tracks, and I sometimes add ambient sounds or other artists on top. Bora Bordur contributes mythic and mystic ideas, philology, and technologies to this work. We do a lot of scanning, both laser scanning and handheld scanning. So this video is not a metaphor. It's not a metaphor, it's a facet of the condition of being that I'm researching, and that is of presence. Just over 100 years ago, in fact in 1924, the Manifesto of Surrealism was created, and André Breton introduces the term surreality as a point at which dream and reality resolve into an absolute reality, his words. Breton said, quote, "I believe in the future resolution of these two states. Dream and reality are seeming so contradictory into a kind of absolute reality, or surreality, if one may so speak." So in this vein, I create psychogeographies found, for example, in the walks of Thomas Aquinas, travels of Daniel Defoe, coined by Guy Debord in 1955, but nevertheless, surreality. I make transits between ideas inside VR software that are inhabited rather than observed. These experiences are converted into video, as you see here. Currently, I'm taking a hiatus of sorts. I'm preparing for my comprehensives, reading 60 texts, but this presentation incorporates some texts from my readings, as you just heard. My fields, their definitions and content are somewhat fluid. First and most dear are Icelandic folklore, supernatural belief, and cultural memory. The second, phenomenology, spatial theory with embodiment and mediation between areas. And the third is performance, intermediality, immersive media, VR research creation. And really, these all areas are all interdependent. Nevertheless, I must prove through examination that the work I do is indeed rooted in scholarly past. Okay, I must prove that my methods for arriving at my art practice knowledge through creation are historically valid and relate to the world's art research. Good luck to me. Anyway, I must show distinctions between justified belief and opinions and verifiable truths confirmed by published texts. Meanwhile, my mind does not stop being an art practitioner with innate knowledges. Okay, I'll just play this a little bit. So I imbibe presences around me, and presently As we all know, there are divisive presences to contend with, which tend to eclipse all others. What you're watching is not a background, it's an argument as a mythic presence. And this argument tends to eclipse other presences. Last term I wrote a play called Irascible, which hasn't been performed yet. That's part of my thesis development. It's a myth-based Icelandic play with mystic characters, folklore characters revamped. I wrote because mythics is a valuable vehicle for comprehending the incomprehensible. I'm looking for actors in the future, so if you're interested, let me know. The play and the VR are related and relative, and their ability to lend a contrary visualization to our deviating world that prohibits physical confirmation of being. Also, and importantly, my art practice is a good way to celebrate the presence of hope, a way of redirecting our tendency to judge and demean. So what you're watching is not background, it's an argument as a mythic presence. Presence has diversity and it's ever-changing, and presence is therefore a means to extrapolate super-reality of being. And the subject lends itself to bigger-than-life media. And sometimes you need to be fed the ephemeral through cryptic means as well. Comprehensive exams are asking me to question my being as well. I must explain not only what I feel or what it feels like to be inside a super reality, but if and how a super reality exists, whether it is a mode of existence and why. For me, the crux of tension between phenomenology and ontology is this: from asking how a world appears and to ask whether it is, where experience is not evidential. I want to begin with a vague idea, like a walker, like a person walking, that does not know where they're going, or the flâneur or the wanderer's meanderings. They go without a map or a plan. Also, sometimes I make milestones to commemorate my ideas' waywardness, like these videos. Sometimes they coalesce, sometimes they take a leap into fantasy. I've been reading André Ferlani's In Pilgrim's Grass, The Beckett Walk, which describes what happens when Beckett puts language and human figure on the road at the same time, both composing and decomposing representation, both building context for existence and unbuilding how we think about our entry into and presence in the world. Our steps or progress or grass are not one step after another, sequential, because we have cause to address, redress, or even have leaps of faith. Transits can be circuitous, as Beckett's waiting for Godot's characterizations, with concurrent movements in the same act, same space. I talked about my play a little bit. I'm going to reintroduce that because it's important. In the particular text, there's ravens that become transfigured into people, and people that get transfigured into part human, part animal. For me, the supernatural is not a conceit. It's a precise description of the territory I work in. There's a character called a huldufolk, which is a hidden folk, and it appears throughout the Icelandic folk tradition. Jón Arnason said, those are among the hidden folk who dwell in hillocks in the green fields. What he's talking about are these people you have to sense, and only some people can communicate directly. And my main focus in the play is about this woman, Vilborg, who can talk to Hildefolk. This work in my VR and my thesis is the work that is hidden, and it has to be experienced because I have, or we have, the ability to transport ourselves into another dimension experiences, or super reality. Then I've been reading Heidegger, who argues in his modern technology treatise, which was written in the 50s. He talks about a lot of different ways of perceiving this, and mainly he talks about where danger is, grows the saving power also. And you notice in here, for example, there's a lot of sharp stuff, and then there's very wavy, ephemeral things, and we just live in contradiction. So this is the basis of super realities. They're not escapes from technological conditions. They're made inside it, using the tools. They're built from the same computational substrate that runs logistics, etc. But that's where the saving power grows within that. I think it said everything I was going to say, just I'm saying it differently in different ways. So if you have questions, let me know.
this universe.
Yeah.
Because it's three-dimensional. It's like, it's very physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like curious about your experience, for like somatic experience of doing something that's visual but is also physical and.
Well, I'm dancing in there. What
You are dancing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, everything in what I'm actually creating is a dance. Because I have no, with the goggles, I have no spatial orientation at all. In fact, I have a tether, so if I go beyond something, but I'll find myself at the door of the room. So, I have no idea where I am. And yeah, it's, and the brushes are, as a result of using the paddles and pressing the button, choosing a color, choosing the shape, choosing the movement, they're sound reactive. So, it's being like a little party in your own head. So, Vadim, Nicole, and I are trying to move these into game engines in the near future. That's something that I'm excited about because more people could access it. Right now, they have to be where the software is, and right now the only place that has it accessible is the visualization studio.
I'm curious, I assume that this camera that we're seeing right here is not the view from your head as you're moving around. So like, what kind of governing logics did you use in assembling it for a two-dimensional space?
Well, there's a camera in the software,
Yeah.
so I can walk around and record it when I'm finished.
So this is you holding it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about like tracing your movement in the space that you're recording it and then showing us some visualization of that?
Well, I'm working on that. I'm also part of Kermit,
Mhm.
and I just did a mocam workshop.
Cool.
So that's definitely in the works.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Deborah.